we're going to talk about making bread.
Hi everybody, I'm Katherine and I'm joined by a special guest today. Could you tell everybody who you are?
I'm Ellie
and today we're going to talk about the spiritual practice of making bread. Yeah, are you excited about that?
Yep.
Hey Elliot, do you know what this is? Smell it. What does it smell like? Not much, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is yeast. These are tiny little granules that right now are dormant, meaning they're not going to do anything, they're kind of dead. But if we add warm water to these granules, something's going to happen. Are you ready?
Yep.
All right. Let's put it out here so everybody can see. So we're adding warm water. We're going to need a bigger bowl than this because soon these granules are going to start to open up and expand. You see how it's starting to happen? They're starting to make bubbles. Can you smell it now?
Yeah.
Oh, it sort of smells starchy, like the start of bread, right? Because that's what we're doing. Yeast is the first part of our bread, and yeast reminds me of miracles and how miracles are all around us because it starts off dead, a dead little granule, and when we add water, it comes to life. Isn't that cool?
Yeah.
And it's going to help make our bread full of air. You know, when I was a kid in church, I used to have to learn a prayer called the Lord's Prayer that says, "Give us this day our daily bread." And I thought that was kind of silly because I thought we should ask God to give us our daily breath because that's really important. I didn't realize how important bread really is.
Why?
And how much of a miracle it is. Do you think bread is a miracle or is it just kind of ordinary?
That's kind of like ordinary.
It's just kind of ordinary, we think,
Soft.
but think about this. Think
What?
about all the plants that had to grow to make the flour and the yeast, right? Those are a miracle from God because the rain and the earth helped to grow that plant as a gift from God. You're really into that flour right now. So we've got our yeast.
Yeah, it's like it's plain pea, but it's soft.
It is soft. So let's leave the flour alone for a minute. Everybody, we did wash our hands first. So now we've got the yeast in the water and we're going to add to it. Do you know what this is? Can you smell it?
Salt.
Salt, exactly. So when the yeast and the salt mix together, they add to the bubbling. They help our bread to rise. And then we're going to add in this one. This is a little bit of sugar. Make our bread a little extra sweet. And then when we put in the flour, can you put in that flour? Now that you've gotten to know it quite well, put it in. This is the first cup. We're going to do 6 cups of flour. But the flour combines with the yeast to make gluten, to make the stretchy parts of the bread. And then the yeast is like little explosions that puts air into the bread to make it light and fluffy. Is that cool?
Yeah.
And it helps us to remember that even the simplest things like bread are really important.
Oh, that's one.
That's 1 cup. We're going to put the other cups in, but we're going to do that off camera in the stand mixer.
Hi. Sorry that was a long time.
It took us a little while to get all the flour in here, but now we've got nice dough. And the next part is what I think is the most fun part and what makes this really a spiritual practice for me, which is we are going to knead our dough.
Can I try?
You can. Let me show you how to do it first, okay? So we've got it in a nice ball. We're going to push out with our bottoms of our hands, and then we flip it over, and we turn it, and we do it again. Push.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, go ahead. Yep, that's right. Fold it over, turn it around, and then push it out with your hands this way. Use the bottom parts of your hands. Nice. Good kneading. Excellent. So we're going to do this for 5 minutes, which we're not going to be on camera for all of that, but it's a really good way to get some energy out. And it helps to make the yeast and the gluten come together, stretch apart, make air bubbles, and make our bread. All right?
All right.
We're going to do this for a little while.
I think a video would be awesome.
I think you're right. All right, so we're gonna go find a place, a nice safe place to put this for a couple of hours. It's not done quite yet. And then we will score and bake our bread. All right? Okay, are we ready to look? Open it up. Oh, look at that. Our dough has risen and we're ready to shape it into 2 loaves and then we're gonna bake it. Okay, we're ready to take out our bread. You ready to look?
Yep.
Okay, step back. Oh my goodness, what do you think?
Good.
Yeah, those are big. You ready to share them?
Yep.
All right.
Bye. See you again.